only reason why I did not get on OnlyFans and the only reason why I was not a was because I have 4 brothers who would have me if
Oh.
that was the route that I took. I think that there is a healthy amount of shame when men are telling you, you know, keep your clothes on, have some self-respect. But for me, if I didn't have that and I lost my dad at such a young age, then you're constantly seeking that male validation. You're constantly seeking that love from any man who will give it to you because you feel like there's this like gaping size hole of fatherly figure missing from your heart.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode here on The Bridge Reacts, and I'm your host, Marcus. Thank you so much for stopping by to see another episode here on The Bridge, where we're trying to, you know, bridge the gap between men and women and decrease the divorce rate, add into long-lasting relationships and marriages, and just, you know, do better. And if you like what you see here on the channel, please subscribe, hit like button as well, notification bell. Today's video, we are talking about the nature of us as people, like women and men. Do we have our own actual nature, like men's nature, female's nature? Is there something inherently, you know, not just nurture that we're, you know, learning from societal norms or whatever, but is there just a nature to us? And for this video today, it's Complicated channel. We're gonna look at another video. This one's called The Female Nature with Sarah Dawn Moore, Rules of Modern Dating and Understanding Women. It's complicated.
Is there a universal male and female nature?
Ooh, that's a really complex question. I think there are universal male and female traits, but I don't know if there's a very consistent male and female nature.
Yes, I personally feel like men are meant to be kind of the protector and kind of take control of the relationship, whereas women are to be the nurturers and the ones on the receiving end of the protecting.
Do you think boys are better suited to learn about female nature, specifically how to attract women, from mothers or fathers?
Mothers.
Why?
That's a great question. I'm gonna pause it for just a second. Would it be best to learn like female's nature to attract like a, you know, a mate, whatever, from your mother or your father? I messed up that whole question, but that's basically the question. I'd say the father and not the mother. I don't like mother, like the basics, sure, but like the father would know because he's a man and he attracted your mother. So it's like women would know what women want from, I guess, other women, but would women know what women want from a man specifically? You know what I'm saying?
Because I had a brother, he was 19 years older than me, and we had 3 girls in the family, plus our mom, plus our dad, and because of that, he actually did really well in his marriage because we kind of taught him how to treat women.
From fathers, probably. I feel like you really take after the way your father treats women and the type of women that he gets
How your father treats your mother, for sure, or your sister, his daughter.
and is with. I feel like a son would definitely take some pointers from that.
Do you think that the rise of single moms in any way contributes to the lack of respectable men?
Absolutely. There's men just these days don't really know how to act, I feel like, and a lot of the societal values behind men and what their participation looks like in a relationship is much different than how it was, say, in the 50s when divorce rates were much lower. Well, when any divorce was able to happen.
Would you trust a single mom to teach a man how to be a man?
Yes.
Would you trust a single
I don't. It seems as though my experience, I've noticed like men who are raised by single mothers, depending on the single mother, they didn't have that masculine figure that taught them how to treat women to a degree, and like a man's role. I mean, a woman can teach a boy that, I guess, right? But like, it's just something that's instilled from, like, passed down from father to son. It's just like a rite of passage in a sense. I'm not saying, once again, I'm not saying a single mother couldn't do it. But I'd imagine that it would be much more beneficial having both parents in the household, first and foremost, or maybe your father specifically for something like that when it comes to, like, you know, later on in life. Mothers are great at teaching children beginning of life. But when it comes to, like, past, like, 13, 14, adolescence, men typically are the better teachers for that point on.
Would you trust a single mom to teach her daughter how to choose the right man?
Yes.
Wouldn't she not be a single mom if she chose the right man?
We all make mistakes and hopefully learn from them. And B, sometimes the best way to teach your children is to not do what you did.
Single mothers a lot of
Fair
times.
answer.
I don't want to say all the time, but I would probably imagine to say about 80% of the time have some sort of vendetta or towards men because obviously they were left. So it's not necessarily I feel for them, right? I feel bad for them. They are struggling. They are trying to come to terms with the fact that they have been placed with the burden of raising a child on their own, which is no small feat.
Right.
Do you believe that fathers keep sons out of jail and daughters off the pole?
Oh yes, most certainly. They do play a strong role in their male
It's
male
discipline.
life, and for the daughter,
And I'm not saying that women can't teach their sons discipline or their daughters discipline, but like that's just like that masculine kind of role that men should instill into their children, like that level of discipline and leadership, guidance. Again, a woman can do that as well, but I mean, what is the man there for if he's not leading, he's not guiding, he's not having that level of provision, not be on the pole or in jail.
yes, because your first love is your father for a female.
Let's be real. Most girls who are on the pole are due to daddy issues.
Unfortunately, I have a brother who is in jail, and my father passed away once again, so my family went through a lot of heartache, but I can only imagine that if my father was around, my brother didn't have boundaries, and men are there to place boundaries with other men, or else kids just kind of run wild, and
I actually agree with that. Like, men definitely have to keep other men in check. I'm not saying that women can't, once again, keep men in check, but it's like if a whole bunch of men are just running around doing whatever the hell they want and no man is there to be that masculine figure to direct them and hold them accountable to their actions, then we're going to have a really chaotic world. A whole bunch of terrible men doing whatever they want.
I agree. I think that the only people that can keep men in check are other men. Because as a woman, you know, who am I to say that you should be carrying yourself as a man? I don't know anything about being a man. That's not my place.
So you would agree that there is a rite of passage in a sense from like boyhood to manhood. There should be.
In many other cultures, there are.
Right.
I think over time, probably just how things kind of developed after, diasporic activities and such, we lost that. In so many other cultures, the girls have a rite of passage and boys have a rite of passage. Your quinceañera, your sweet 16.
Yeah. Bar mitzvah,
Yeah.
maybe.
Or I
think so.
But either way, still a rite of passage.
Yeah, well said.
Thank you.
Yeah. We miss having you on the channel.
I'm here in the shadows.
She's in the shadow. That's funny as
they do things, and especially men, they become like these untamed animals, right? They become these kind of uncivilized monkeys. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to be.
Wait, what is this? Uncivilized monkey. That was very specific. I don't know. I do agree with the first part she was saying, and we're gonna just move on after this. Men, we are in a sense like that fire of like just like we can burn things or we can help and warm things, provide and have that kind of like that homeness or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? Like a furnace versus a fire burning the woods. Those are two. Controlled
warmth as opposed to wild raging.
Well said. Exactly that. So that's my thing. Like there needs to be some guidance from men, and if you don't have that guidance, then you can see it that men might do things that aren't the best, and in a lot of different ways. So yeah, we definitely need that. But I don't know about monkeys. That was a little that was a little racial there.
Men teach boundaries, and when it comes to a woman, the only reason why I did not get on OnlyFans and the only reason why I was not a stripper was because I have 4 brothers who would have me if that was the route that I took. I think that there is a healthy amount of shame when men are telling you, keep your clothes on, have some self-respect. But for me, if I didn't have that and I lost my dad at such a young age, then you're constantly seeking that male validation. You're constantly seeking that love from any man who will give it to you because you feel like there's this like gaping size hole of fatherly figure missing from your heart. So a lot of these OnlyFans models, as much as I do have compassion for them because I I understand where they're coming from, but I also know the cause of why they're doing what they're doing. And if you look at any type of work, typically you will find the absence of a father figure or the absence of a male role model.
Well said. The monkey comment is the only thing that she kind of like, she threw me off at. That was a little wild. But I do agree with her. Boundaries set by men. Women should definitely set boundaries as well. But like men, we can like, I guess, use force to set boundaries and make sure that men are in check and they're not doing crazy, stupid shit that will put us at a dystopia versus, you know, where we're at now, falling into a dystopia. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into my final thoughts about women's nature. Do you have any like closing things you want to say before I get into my final thoughts?
Closing remarks. I think for me, both energies are needed when it comes to raising well-rounded, healthy little humans. Yeah, you know, I think when it comes to raising boys into men, that masculine aspect is needed.
Yeah.
I just, you know, from my own personal experience, the young men that I dated that, you know, either didn't have a healthy relationship with their fathers or fathers were not in the picture, had a lot of growing and healing to do in certain areas, and I think it really affected their ability to communicate emotions and such. That I think having some type of masculine figure could have helped them navigate that space as a man. Like I said before, I'm a woman. I don't know what it's like to be a man, to have the, you know, the weight of the world on you, everybody looking at you, so on and so forth. I don't know what that's like, not in that capacity. So
Well said. Yeah. And then to that point, I don't know what it's like to be a woman, and I never will. So I don't know what, like, you know, what it takes to have that rite of passage for a woman. I know what makes a woman a wife, but I don't know what makes a woman in a woman's world, like in a woman's sense amongst other women, if that makes sense.
hi guys. Long time no see. Final thoughts. You know, I think that there is a nature. I think men and women have a nature about themselves. I think that's that's how the cookie crumbled. That's how it was designed.
Yeah. Is that wrong in acknowledging that?
No.
And like understanding that there is like some level of nature, like just like in a sense roles that we don't really like anymore for whatever reason, but we secretly do like and we do prefer. So it's like there are roles, there are nature, and sure there are society norms, I guess, to a degree that we have nurtured within our society and how we are and how we interact with each other and ourselves. I get that, but it's like at the end of the day, you can't rewrite what's primal. It's instilled into us. And I feel as though it is up to us as men to teach our sons, young men, boys, and then it's up to our women who are healed as well, just like the men should be healed, to teach their daughters and our young sisters and, you know, etc. But those are my final thoughts. If you guys like the video, please subscribe, like button, and notification bell as well, and check out It's Complicated once again. And it's good to see you back on camera for a little bit, just pop in.
That I popped in.
Yeah, because I was doing so well. I was dropping videos back to back. So she was like, let me jump on that real quick. And I was like, no.
Of course.
And I gave
exactly
in.
How it happened.
Until next time, you guys have a nice one. You want to say anything from, you know, closing wise?
You know, you guys make sure you're going outside getting some sunlight, touching some grass. You know?
What's that?
Social media is but a snapshot. It is not real life. So please, do not let it consume you guys.
Yes.
And with that being said, you all have a very beautiful day or evening, depending on where you are. You know?
Yeah. Likewise. Yeah. You have a nice one. We'll see you next time.